In this recording, we are going to discuss how to answer this question part B. Here you have a third multiplied to a 3 by 3 matrix, in turn multiplied to a column matrix. So the third now is a scalar. It will scale down our final answer by a third. Okay? Like divided by 3. But we first have to multiply. It will be more convenient to multiply the 3 by 3 by the 3 by 1. Now is multiplication possible? So let's count the number of columns in the first matrix. So you have a 1, 2, 3. So you see you have a row of 3 numbers must multiply to the column. So there must be 3 numbers in the column. It's 3 rows. 1, 2, 3. So multiplication is possible. Columns equal to rows. Multiplication is possible. So now you multiply the row to the column, the second row to that same column, the third row to that same column. Now for extra help, you can go to unit 1 on matrices. From page 2, you've got information on matrices. What's the definition of matrix? By looking at the first video, we are custom with that page already. Okay, how to identify the elements in a matrix, different types of matrix, square, diagonal, etc. Identity matrix, identity matrices, operations on matrices, addition, subtraction, and multiplication by a scalar. A scalar, we say, is a number that can scale up or scale down. A number greater than 1 will scale up. A number less than 1 will scale down. And then we move on. You have some exercises here, multiplied by a scalar, and addition and subtraction. Equal matrices. You can use equal matrices to solve for unknowns. And here you have some exercises. And then we go into matrix multiplication. That's where we are. As I say, to multiply 2 matrices, you have to multiply a row from the first with the column from the second. And to do that, you must count the elements or the columns in the first, 1, 2. Count the rows in the second, 1, 2. So if columns equal to rows, then multiplication is possible because you have to multiply corresponding elements and you have to add. For example, 3 times 2 plus 7 times 9. So you can go review this up to page. You have an example up to page 12. Rules for multiplying matrices. Pause and read this again carefully. And here you have an example again, page 7, multiplication of matrices, multiplying the first row with the columns of the second, etc. Rows by columns. Here you have some more examples. And here you have some exercises. So here I'm going to demonstrate how to do this multiplication. Now I'm going to pause a little bit to give you a chance to get your pen, your pencil, your calculator, and your notebook or your practice book so that you can participate in the video. The most effective way to learn mathematics is by participating with the video or with the tutor. You have to be writing at the same time. Okay, so this video is a very effective way. Pause the video and please get out your pencil, your pen, your notebook, your calculator, and as the video is going along, you participating, you writing, because maths is a doing thing. You've got to do it. We have to find the solution. Okay, the solution here for this question, here it is. x is equal to 2, y is equal to negative 5 over 3, z is equal to 1, we are going to demonstrate how to get this solution. So just by sitting and watching the video is not very effective. Okay, you need to be participating to ensure that you can do it. So pause the video and get on your pencil, your pen, your calculator, and your notebook or your practice book so that you can participate as the demonstration is going along. So now that you have gotten your materials to participate, let us see what our solution will be. The first matrix has, well, you must multiply by the scalar at the end, to scale down by a third. So the first matrix has 3 rows and the second matrix has only 1 column. So our solution will follow the number of rows of the first and the number of columns of the second. So our final solution will have 3 rows, just like the first, and 1 column, just like the second. So that our answer will be a column matrix. Right. So now what we need to do is to multiply 1 times 2 plus negative 4 times 1 plus 0 times 2. Okay, that's the first row to that only 1 column. 1 times 2 minus 4 times 1. Minus 4 times negative 1. That's a negative 1. And 0 times 2. So it's always good to cross-check your answer. So let's go to the second row now. Minus 2 times 2 plus 3 times negative 1 plus 1 times 2. So you can pause the video and do this and verify that you can actually do it without watching. Minus 1 times 2 plus 5 times negative 1 plus 5 again times 2. Okay? So as you can see, there is a pattern with the numbers. Twos, minus 1, and then the minus 1 and the twos. So now to get our final answer, no, not our final answer yet because we have to multiply by a third. So we can actually do this in our calculator very quickly. Or apply mental arithmetic. But for speed, we can use the calculator. So here we go. 1 times 2 plus a negative 4 times 1 negative 1 plus, well, 0 times 2 is 0. So that's 0. So our first answer there is 6. Let's just cross check because we have to multiply 6 by a third to get 2. So let's see if we're on the right track. X is equal to 2 already. We're on the right track. But we have to multiply by a third. Yeah, that 6 have to scale down by a third. Now the second one, negative 2 times 2 plus 3 times negative 1 plus 1 times 2, -5. So y should be -5/3. Let's verify. Y is -5/3 because we have to scale down. So I see z is equal to 1, so we expect to get a 3 here. After we get a 3, when we multiply by a third, we should get 1. 3 scaled down by 1. Multiplied by a scalar, you have to multiply each element by that scalar quantity. So here we have -1 times 2 plus 5 times -1 plus another 5 times 2. We get a 3, and now we're going to multiply by a third. So all the elements in this column matrix are going to be scaled down by a third. Again, here we have this, this gray icon was covering our answer, but here we have it. So of 6 times a third, so 6 divided by 3 is 2. -5 divided by 3, or -5 times the third. You can leave it as a fraction, -5/3, and 3 divided by 3 is equal to 1. Right, so that's our answer right here. You can actually screenshot this and put it as our answer. Here is our answer, which is identical to what was provided: 2 minus 5/3 and 1.